I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Team sources tell me that the Milwaukee Bucks are officially open for business on all trades and calls, offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, entering the draft combine this week and over the next 6 weeks before the NBA draft. This has been a 12-month-long saga between Giannis and the Bucks, but co-owner in Milwaukee, Jimmy Haslam, last week said that this will either end in a long-term commitment from Giannis or a trade elsewhere before the June 23rd NBA draft. And this all surrounds one very important element. Giannis has made it clear for a period of months now that he believes the time has come for both sides to move on, to part ways. The Bucks have resisted over the last calendar year a trade, believing that they can still win and compete with Giannis, but that's depleted their asset base, their talent on their team. And now they are in a reality where they will be listening. They are fully open for business.
Open for business. The Bucks are shams per source. ESPN. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We've only just begun.
It can end.
It ain't gonna end. Well, it's gonna end. Not anytime soon, I'm guessing. It might end sooner than we think.
I think so, too.
Not until the NBA playoffs are over, that's for sure. For sure before June. At least June 22nd-ish. Lots to say on all things Giannis being on the trading block and what it means for the future of the organization, the draft, and so on. It's a hot topic. We'll get to it. Let's play catch up.
Packers.
The NFL schedule is starting to come out. It's not a leak when the league itself puts out the announcement, but there will be leaks between now and Thursday when the official schedule is released. And we get to see all of the social media posts from all the teams in the creative ways that they decide to tell us what the schedule is. So far, we know that the first Thursday night football game of the season will be the Lions at the Bills in week 2. It'll be the first game at the brand new Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. There's also the Thanksgiving game that is pretty much the same friggin' game every year. It's the Eagles and the Cowboys. Whoop-de-doo, Basil.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of looking forward to football right now. Like, just here, like, that's the beautiful thing about the schedule release is like, it's like, all right, yeah, that's right. Football's going to be back. Let's go.
It's coming. It's coming. There are 9 home games for the Packers this year, 8 games on the road. We are unsure if one of those 8 games will be in an overseas city. They don't like giving up home games at Lambeau Field for good reason. I think it's happened at least once, but it is not on the docket for it to happen this year, as the Packers have 9 games, although one could argue that's when it would be seemingly the best idea not to take away one of the 8. And there's some plausibility that they might end up in Paris and or Munich, although it doesn't look likely, certainly not London. What do you think of the NFL expanding overseas, Josh, and how these teams have to do this now?
Yeah, it's just like everything else. You know, it's just it's the quest for more money. You know, that's all it is let's continue to grow the game. We got to grow the game. We have to grow the game internationally. Look at the success the NBA has had over the last 20 years, growing the game internationally. We have to do that too. And so this is their way. It started with, 1 city and then now 2 and 3. I'm waiting for the Jacksonville Jaguars to just move to London, period, and just have them be the first international team. And if you think that's crazy, it's absolutely not. At some point, that will happen.
How long is a flight from Chicago to London? 8-ish, 9-ish hours?
Yep. Just about that.
How long is a flight from New York to L.A.?
I don't know.
5-ish hours?
Something close. Yeah.
It's not that much worse.
No.
It's the time change that'll get you.
Right. I mean, it's that. Plus, it's just the reason behind it. This is why I think it's really funny when people are all up in arms about like NIL and the changes in college sports. Like, I don't like them. I don't like the change, but it happens in every sport. It's how it is in every sport. Well, we need to find more money. We can't just keep things how they are. We won't make more money that way.
Are you getting old and crotchety?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm on one today.
Leave my tournament alone.
Yes, leave my tournament alone.
Don't go overseas.
They did
make more money.
Yeah, well, it is. It's all about money. Sucks.
It's always been about money.
All right, so the schedule release is on Thursday.
Yeah.
What time tomorrow do we find out all of the opponents? And
you know what?
Going?
Last year, they actually did a really good job of keeping it under wraps. I was thinking about this yesterday. I don't really remember a lot of leaks that came out last year about where the Packers were going to play when. We know who the opponents are now,
right,
home and away. We just don't know when. I remember years ago going, well, oh, cute. It's coming out on Thursday. No, it's not. It's going to come out via Twitter, and Bill Huber and Matt Schneidman and some other random dude that seems to know someone that's giving him some information.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one or two, mainly divisional games, I'd guess. And honestly, sometimes it gets leaked by other teams before the Packers leak their own.
Correct. And then people can just start to put together the puzzle through those methods. So if you had to put money down, will you go to bed Wednesday night not knowing the schedule?
Incomplete?
Let's say 70%.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We won't know the schedule Wednesday night.
Okay.
They did a really good job of keeping it under wrap. And here's why. #money. What does every team do now to release their schedule? They put together some extravagant social media video of some kind to drive people to their channels to get the schedule release in one spot. And that is a sponsorable deal. Mm-hmm. And that boosts numbers. Mm-hmm. It's the opposite of clickbait when you're in control of the actual information.
Right. And you want to make money because it's all about money. Right. I know that. I would still be surprised if there isn't some type of leak. I don't think that the leaks are necessarily always planned. I think it's just the teams have the information, someone within the organization talks, and then it just trickles down from there before the floodgates open.
We want the floodgates to continue to stay open for the Brewers. Welcome to town, San Diego.
Brewers.
Tonight, 6:40 Central, Brandon Sproat on the mound. Tomorrow, 6:40 Central, with The Miz, and then Kyle Harrison on Thursday. Adam McKelvey put out an awesome article via MLB.com. Go check out his Twitter, @Adam McKelvey. Billy Hall's phone exploded the other day, and in the moment, he didn't know why. It was Vinny Rotino, per the article from Adam, that actually broke the news to Billy Hall that said, "Did you see it?" And
yeah.
Bill went, "Uh-oh."
See what? He had no idea until then he went and checked his phone and went, "Oh, okay. Yep." And then it was just, but it was a great article. And Bill Hall pointed out even 20 years later, the amount of people that will text him, and Mother's Day's become a completely different reason to celebrate for Billy Hall and his family.
The fact that they both had pink bats and they both wore number 2, and it was 20 years later. The universe just toys with us from time to time, and that is a great example of that. Manny Machado comes to town with San Diego. We hate him.
Yeah, typically. Not a fan.
Joey Ortiz and Manny Machado have something in common. They both suck this year.
Oh.
Yeah, it made me really happy to see that stat. So Joey Ortiz has 83 at-bats, and Manny Machado right now has 136. However, if you statistically average out where Joey Ortiz would be based on how he's been this year, if he had also had 136 at-bats, his average would be the exact same right now at 181. Manny Machado's average, 191. Machado only has 26 hits If Ortiz had had that many at-bats based on averages, he'd have 25. And the list goes on. So what do Manny Machado and Joey Ortiz have in common?
Yeah, both not playing well.
I love it.
Well, I got to say, though, don't you feel like Manny Machado's in that group of players that regardless of how they're doing, they just do well at American Family Field? Like, they're just certain guys that, like, even if they're struggling, when they come here or they play here, they play well. I feel like he fits in that mold. So don't get too comfortable with how Machado's doing this year when he steps up to the plate at AmFam.
According to our live timer on YouTube and Twitter, that was about 12-ish minutes into the show on Tuesday, May 12th, when Josh said that Manny Machado is probably going to play well at AmFam Field. Save that for a different Take Back Tuesday.
Yeah, God, I hope so. That'd be great if I'm wrong.
I would love for you to be wrong on that because I can't stand that guy.
Same.
On to Madison.
Badgers.
Literally no information.
Who's on to Madison?
Literally nobody.
Okay.
My question here is, do you even want this job? Now my mind is going there, right? I'm not talking about the chancellor or the person that runs it at the Regents or whatever it is. Specifically, the athletic director at this phase in the NIL era at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Do you even want the job?
Yeah, the answer is yes. But as fans, it's not, you're not getting the cream of the crop. Because if I'm out there and I have multiple options for an AD, yeah, I'm looking at Madison as a mess. Madison is a mess right now. That's not the highest position available. That's not the best position available. If I'm out there, I'm going, well, they don't know what they're doing right now. I'm taking over a project is what I'm thinking if I'm in that position.
And for that reason, I think it's going to be somebody from the mid-major level.
Yeah. I
really do. It's going to be somebody that may or may not have connections to the university and or Wisconsin itself, but definitely wants to grow and expand their career. Therefore, a job like Madison's, to your point, Josh, that is, for lack of a better term, a thing in works. It's not a rebuild, but it is
under construction for sure.
A lot of orange barrels.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
That is so fitting for Wisconsin this time of year.
It's true.
Unbelievable. Well, we'll find out, or we won't.
Right. Speaking of, hit the button.
Bucks.
All right. Here we go. It starts. It's starting. Mm-hmm. But really, has it ever not been a thing with Giannis? And on the trade block now, Shams is back in front of microphones talking about what the plan is for Giannis, and it's nothing that we haven't known for some time. Do we have audio kind of queued up from him on Pat McAfee?
Yes.
This is a start and stop audio portion of the show because this guy rambled with gills for 2.5 minutes. No breaths. Here's Shams on Pat McAfee yesterday.
Are you going to ask me about Giannis real quick or no? You're going to ask me about Giannis real quick?
You tell me. Dude, is there something about Giannis?
I want to stop it right there. So he wasn't even prompted to talk about Giannis on McAfee. McAfee just having him on, going through things, and he was like, wait, you're going to ask me about Giannis, right? You got to ask me about Giannis. He was so excited to talk about Giannis. Okay.
We do have some news on Giannis. I'll say this.
No, we don't.
I'll try to make it as short as possible.
Pause that. Hold on. Let him talk.
Okay.
Here's why. I know you're fired up about it, but dude, you have to admit there's a chance the source has been the same source the entire time. And that it's not necessarily wrong. Remember, Shams is taking the information that he has to his employer and saying, here's what I have. And his employer is saying, makes sense to us based on who you got the information from. So I think it's important for us as Bucks fans, Giannis fans, to go, man, this guy's been chasing some things, and he wanted to talk about Giannis for a reason because it's legit information that he has to share. It's hard for us to swallow.
Well, I can't wait for him to get to it.
Sources tell me the Milwaukee Bucks are fully open for business on trades and offers around Giannis Antetokounmpo as we enter the NBA draft combine this week, and we're weeks away from the NBA draft itself. Bucks owner Jimmy Haslam said just last week that there will be a conclusion to this saga. Been a 12-month ordeal for all of us.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Haslam said there will be a conclusion to this.
Okay, stop right there. Even McAfee's like, yeah, that's old news. That was last week. What, were you on vacation, Shams?
Well, but it just broke yesterday that he's officially being on the trading block, right? I mean, that was the news from yesterday.
I'm just
that
saying,
the
like,
Bucks,
all right, we're 45 seconds in to this clip. At this point, he's quoted a week ago, Haslam, okay,
that will either result in him signing a long-term extension or a trade. But the any conversation that the Bucks are going to have with Giannis Antetokounmpo, from my understanding, it's going to be a very simple one. Do you want to stay here long-term and commit long-term in June? The answer from all of
okay, so now's when he's actually getting to something.
Okay.
So we're a minute in. At this point, he's quoted two things we already knew. Wes Edens said a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever he said about he's either going to sign or we're going to trade him. And now Haslam saying it's happening soon. Okay, here we go.
Purpose.
Counts is going to be no. And at that point, the question is going to be, where does Giannis want to go? Where does he want to play for?
Sorry, that was an important part.
The answer from all accounts is going to be no. And at that point, the question is going to be, where does Giannis want to go? Where does he want to play for and commit long-term? Because he's got just one guaranteed year left on his deal. You guys know this, especially in the NBA. That gives a player of this caliber a ton of leverage, a ton of sway on where he ends up.
That is an interesting thing.
So that was his sources from all accounts are saying that the answer is no. Giannis does not want to be in Milwaukee long term. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was it's very simple, and on all accounts he doesn't want to be there, and he has leverage to decide where he wants to go, which is a completely different conversation on leverage.
John Horst, the Bucks general manager, has done everything. I'm talking about everything the last 10 years to try to put together a winner around Giannis. They've traded for Drew Holiday,
which worked, by the way. They traded for Drew, and then they did win.
Well, once.
Yep, they still won. Like,
what I'm just saying, like once. That's the hard part. Is they've really tried for years since then to build around Giannis, and it's not working.
Right. I'm just saying that Shams should have said like since they won. But yeah, okay.
They've traded a bunch of assets away for Damian Lillard. They did the largest stretch and wave of a player in NBA history when they stretched Damian Lillard's $113 million contract. They put that on their books for the next 5 years, and then they went out and signed Miles Turner to a $108 million deal. They did that all to try to win around Giannis. The reality has been setting in, though, for the Bucks. And now they're going to do their best to work with Giannis over the next several weeks. And there's going to be a bunch of teams: Miami, Golden State, the Lakers, the Timberwolves, the Cavaliers, a bunch of teams playing in the playoffs right now, teams that are out of it. And we'll see over the next 6 weeks, as Jimmy Haslam said, what happens with Giannis.
Okay.
So, I mean, essentially, that whole time that he didn't take a breath, he could have said, on top of information that everyone already knows, my sources are saying that the simple decision of does Giannis want to be here long-term or not, all sides are saying no. So now we'll see what happens next.
The 920 on the Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250. There's nothing that the Shams says that is true. Unfortunately, that's not true. The hardest part about this as Bucks and Giannis fans is that there is truth to it. And we have to start to consider who his sources are and or have been. The information that Shams is sharing, who does it benefit?
Him, ESPN.
No. In the Giannis and Bucks situation, who does it benefit?
I don't know. The Bucks, I guess.
Totally. 100% chance. All of the information that Shams is saying is to support the Bucks. It is not against Giannis. It is in favor of the Bucks. So from a source standpoint, one could sit down and go, okay, well, if that's the case, then there's somebody within the organization, and he said league and team sources have started to share this information. It's really just a breakdown of information to go, this happens from time to time in professional sports. It happened with Aaron Rodgers. Look at how some of that news broke. you can pretty quickly demise what side of this all of the information is coming from.
Yeah, you can't. I often, and honestly, probably too much, try to filter the news that comes out from Shams as if it was being released from Woj, and asking myself, would I feel differently about all of this if it just wasn't coming from Shams? Like, the way that he presents the information screams to me, dude that is getting paid lots of money to make things a bigger deal than they are at the time that they are. And then he goes on shows like McAfee. Like, I want to play the rest of it. Just the way that he started it. Remember how he started it? And then this is how it ends.
Hey, I appreciate you still on the Giannis beat, as the Greek freak speaks through sources, his team, the team. I don't know who all leaks information, but I do appreciate that it seemingly
I'll do it. Source
says from all angles, they got to get that figured out.
Right. He wants to play along with McAfee in his reindeer games. To me, it's like, I think the biggest problem with all of this is that it's the way that Shams does it, going after our guy. Like that's it. I think that if it was even Windhorst, even when Windhorst says stuff, it comes across so much more of, here's what I think, I'm reporting what we have, but I don't know. I don't know that he knows. Here's his options. Does it make sense for him to sign this Supermax and make a lot of money? Maybe. Does it make sense for the Bucks? Maybe not. I don't think so. But this is the information we have, and they have this amount of time. And I go, yeah, I hate that you're saying that Giannis is going to leave, but at least this is what you're saying. Shams comes in as if he knows everything, and he's been wrong. That's the problem. That's the problem this entire time, is like, you can't come in with that. And that's why when someone just says per sources, if you're not right, if your sources aren't correct, if you can't back that up, if multiple players are coming out and saying, yeah, well, when, reports came out about X, that was wrong. Luka, after the Lakers got eliminated yesterday, threw shade at Shams. Like, it's not even just us. Like, even in LA, players are frustrated with the way that this stuff is presented. I think it really just comes down to, I don't like Shams. I don't like the way that Shams presents the news. Period.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. The hard part is that it hasn't all been wrong. He's still in Milwaukee. He's still under contract. He hasn't been traded. But Shams' source isn't feeding him BS.
He has, to this point, he has not been right. He will be right at some point.
What has he been wrong on?
The fact that Giannis doesn't want to be here anymore. He's still here. He's saying both sides want to move on. They've been saying it for a year, longer than a year. They've been saying that Giannis is going to request a trade. Giannis is done in Milwaukee. He wants to get out. We're going to focus for the next 3 months on where Giannis wants to play basketball. And then Giannis comes out and says, I don't talk to them. No, none of my people. He's quoting me. No, I haven't said anything to him. Immediately discrediting him. And then when he doesn't get traded, we go, okay, so Giannis was telling the truth. Yeah, Shams says nothing. One day, at some point, he will be traded. And then that's going to be the worst day for us, because it'll be the I told you so day. And we're all going to say, whoop-de-doo. I'm going to go on record right now of saying at some point, Trevor Thomas is no longer going to work in radio. At some point, Trevor Thomas is no longer going to be on the radio. At some point, I'm going to be right. At some point, you might die, you might retire. Who the hell knows? It could be 60 years from now. But at some point, I'm going to be right. That is the Shams method that's so annoying. Like, it's not, no one's going to throw you a party when you're finally right, because you've been playing this angle for way too long. Way too long. And I'm glad that, like, Windhorst has gotten off of it, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed that, but, like, ever since he kind of got lumped in before the trade deadline with Shams, he has taken a huge step back.
He just talked about it last week, though. Didn't we just play some audio from him?
But
last week.
But I'm saying the way that he's been covering it has been way more straight-laced. Just here's what's going on.
What you're talking about is style, right?
Yeah, the clickbait. I need to get the links clicked. and I know how to do it. I don't like
His
that.
employer is grateful. All right. Anything
Yep.
else?
No, not just need a
Anything else?
cigarette and a nap.
When we come back in the I Have Questions portion, let's completely pivot to something more positive. We talk a lot about nostalgia and childhood and the memories that we have. We did it a couple of different times yesterday. And in that conversation, numerous times it came up, what do we have from our childhood? Memories is mainly what we talk about, but what about the things, the stuff? What are the things that either you have from your childhood or that you wish you would have kept? And keep it a sports angle. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. The I Have Questions portion of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Shams definitely does. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. Let us know what your questions are. We'll answer. We're definitely going to Google them. Probably use AI, but we'll give you an answer for sure. We have a question for you this morning as well. What is something you wish you would have held on to from your childhood? We talk about the power of nostalgia a lot on this show, and we talk a lot about memories from our childhood. We did it yesterday with what is your earliest memory as a Wisconsin sports fan? What are the core memories that you carry with you? Bill Hall's home run on Mother's Day tapped into a lot of core memories just the other day when Bryce Terang did it again on Mother's Day. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. What are some of the things that if you look back, you went, oh, man, definitely wish I would have kept that?
Yeah, for me, this was a tough one because my mom was a hoarder, and we didn't throw out any of my stuff, like, ever, unless I decided to. One thing that I ended up not being able to find, which I wish we would have, County Stadium used to have, like, giveaway bat days. You remember that? There was one when I was a kid. It was a Coca-Cola bat. It was red. I want to say it was like mid-90s where they actually gave away. And this was not like the tiny mini bat. It wasn't also like a full length, but it was like, I don't know, somewhere in between there. But I remember losing my mind as a kid being like, oh my, they gave us a real bat? Like, this is insane. And that was such a moment. One of like the biggest moments that I remember from County Stadium was getting that. And I had that forever. And I really wish like I would have still had it. Now that I have kids too, no idea. It's gone. Completely gone.
I had so many posters that I saved. All of the Jordan posters that I had on my wall, I actually have in my basement in a box. Some of the baseball cards and football cards that I had when I was a kid, specifically basketball cards of Jordan, or even one of his cards when he played for the White Sox. I have that still. When I started in radio, I was 15 years old. And early on, I got to do some of the credentialing to go to Bucks games. I had those things for the longest time, and I don't anymore. And am I kicking myself. I didn't save ticket stubs back then the way I should have, and I'm kicking myself. Jerseys is one that I thought of. I had Jordan's 23 black pinstripe jersey. I had Jordan's 45 jersey. I had Jordan's red 23 jersey. Nothing. I got nothing. Those are gone.
Yeah, I'd have to check. I think I still have the Jordan jersey from when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, that's one I wish I would have saved. There's so many other things on this list, though. Like the 262 just chimed in on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. To them, my Transformers, this person says. See, that the gaming style figures lands in this space. I had this set of Ninja Turtles along with Master Splinter, along with all the things, and it came in this hard top case, and they all had their own little place, and you just you latched it. My God, would those things be so cool to check out today. Remember the CD I've been talking about for weeks now. So we're at Max Pub and Grill last night having pizza after my son's softball game. And Jason, my buddy Jason's like, hey, dude, I got that CD. I'm like, don't just brush that off. Like, that's just something. Okay, what are we going to do about it? We're going to burn me a CD, right? He's like, do you have a burner? I'm like, I don't know.
Is this 25 years ago? Right.
I believe I still have a tower computer somewhere in my basement that has the ability to burn a CD. Now,
I would love for you to plug that in.
I don't know how it works anymore.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like if you tried firing up a 20-year-old computer, I don't even know if it would turn on. It's not like an old TV. They do not work the same.
Do computers, though, still have the ability? Because it's not that just went away. It's just that we used it mainly for music.
To what? To burn a CD?
Yeah.
So I remember this was, so long ago. I feel like I was in college, and I got a new MacBook, and I was looking for the CD drive, and they went, oh, no, they don't have those anymore. And I went, oh, what do you do then? And they were like, oh, no, you just download everything. And I was like, I don't understand. And you had to buy an external CD drive and then plug it in. And that was like the only way to do it. I think that's still the case. If you want to watch a movie or you're firing up a tower that's 20 years old, like that's it.
When I started Inside Wisconsin, it was 2020. I bought one of those computers, a desktop computer, and it has a CD-ROM drive in it. I don't know if the computer can burn things, but it has a drive, okay? Here's the best part. I had no idea it had said drive. I've moved the studio a couple times, and this last time when I was taking the studio down to move it here to WNFL where I'm at in Green Bay, I pushed something on the front of the tower, Josh, and a CD-ROM popped out. And I was like,
what was it?
Where the hell? What? I didn't even know what was in there.
Yeah, but what was the CD?
No, there was nothing in it. I didn't even know the thing had the damn ROM or whatever you call. I just pushed something on the front of the tower that I apparently hadn't touched before, and I was like, whoa, what did I just hit? Where has that been? Because the front facade, it was like a hidden door.
Sure, yeah.
And I just pushed something, and all of a sudden that popped out. I was like, what? I wonder if that thing can burn CDs. I'll have to check it out. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Oh, some good ones coming in here. This happened the other day. Look at the 414. Wish I still had my Garbage Pail Kids card collection. Boy, did I get crushed for that in my personal life.
Yeah, you talked to DG about that.
I had no idea that was a thing. I don't remember those at all. I must have just been right after that. There are people saying I had a poster from the 1982 American League title team. It had all of the players on the side and then an aerial view of County Stadium, and I ruined that poster moving it all over as a kid. That's Jeff from Fox Point. I still have a paper insert of that team. I know where that is, too. I've held on to a few things that I've found over the years, going through boxes, and I'm like, definitely going to want to keep that. I have the newspapers from Super Bowl 31 from the Green Bay Press Gazette.
I got all the newspapers.
Of those. The 920 says, I wish I would have kept my starter jacket, that pullover starter jacket.
Yep.
Jason in the 920, don't know where it is, but I had Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie card, the one that's the most valuable. Can't find it anywhere. Check the basement. Grew up in this basement, and there's stuff all over in this basement. I have a picture of Robin Yount, the 414 says. Paul Molitor, Jim Gantner, got it from Cooperstown when I visited in the 90s. I had that picture hung up as a kid, but I wanted to get it signed. 30 years later, my buddy who works for the Brewers helped me get it signed during one of those 1982 anniversary celebrations. Now the picture from my childhood is hung up with the signatures.
That's cool.
Well, that's some of the things that you kept in the right spot, Jeff.
Right. My thing is that for the people that don't have the regret of losing stuff because they've held on to them, right? Where do you have it? Is it on display or is it in a tub? Because like I have those newspapers. I have some stuff from my childhood. I just talked about how I think I still have the Jordan jersey I had as a kid. It's on display. It's in a box somewhere. I don't even know where that box is, but like I definitely don't have all, like it's literally Hoardersville. Like it's just, I have it on top of a bunch of other crap that I went, no, I'm going to hold on to this. Obviously I need this and I haven't touched it in 15 years.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. When we get back, it's the most electrifying sound of the day, and we'll continue to share the items you wish you would have held on to when you were a kid. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying,
sound of the day
the most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
James against Caruso for the lead. No. Rebound. Hartenstein off to SGA. Slithers up court. Behind his back. It's off to Reeves. Here's the three. Rebound clutched onto inside. Smart three. Tip in try by Reeves. There's the buzzer, and the Thunder have won and swept and are headed to the Western Conference Finals.
And that was OKC sweeping LeBron and the Lakers. Call courtesy of Kevin Harlan there. And that is the most electrifying sound of the day. Brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. You know, Trev, I kind of miss the days of when ESPN, all they would talk about is LeBron and just focus solely on LeBron.
Careful what you wish for.
Never thought that would be the case. I'd be sitting here going, man, can they talk about my team less and talk more about LeBron? But he was asked after the game, is this going to be it? And he said, I don't know. I'm going to take some time, talk to my family. When I know, you guys will know. And I'm going, okay, now all the reporters are going to follow up, and there's going to be 15,000 segments about it on ESPN, right? The good old days.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. What do you wish you would have held on to from your childhood in terms of sports collectibles or action figures or movies? VHS tapes comes to mind. All the things that we had when we were kids are like, oh, man, should have kept that. Wish I would have kept that. This one might take the cake, though. Bill from Iron River, Wisconsin. Good morning, Bill. Bill says, I had a Bob Uecker Milwaukee Braves rookie baseball card, and I have no idea what happened to it. I sure wish I still had it. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been one.
Ouch.
There are a few people with baseball cards that just go, man, I wish I would have held on to those. And I don't, like I said, my mom was a hoarder, so I'm just like.
So you keep saying that. Can I ask you a question? When you say hoarder,
yep, she kept
have
everything.
You seen the show?
Yes.
Have you seen the?
Yeah, it was not to where like, there needed to be an intervention, but maybe there should have been. I mean, she had bins and bins and bins and bins of stuff, like 50 bins in our basement, like totes full of old magazines and VHS tapes and like the camera film, the actual film from cameras.
I probably have 40 bins in our basement.
Filled with?
Just different stuff from over the years. I have a clothes bin. The boys have a clothes bin. Amanda has a clothes bin. I have a collectibles bin. The boys each have a collectibles bin. We have all of our seasonal stuff in bins. Sure. I have a hat bin. You probably have 8 hat bins. There are bins, but usually when you say the word hoarder, at least this is what I picture, is pathways, right? So your mom sounds like she saved a lot, but hoarding is a totally different game.
But she saved like a lot of stuff that did not in any way, shape, or form needed to be saved. People,
until today,
random People magazines and stuff.
Damn it, I wish I would have saved that.
It wasn't even things about me or our family or even Wisconsin news. It was just like, oh, here's a magazine. Why do we need this, Mom?
You know what's the craziest part is, as we talk about all the things that we wish we would have saved, you think about baseball cards when we were kids and how we were looking for old baseball cards, right?
Yeah.
Or old just cards in general. Dude, I'm 43. Hypothetically, 35 years ago, some of the cards that we got our hands on, totally old cards now.
Oh, yeah.
That's old. A tough pill.
We're old. Yeah.
Rhodey had cards dropped off from a member of Amanda's family a while back. Boxes, just shoe boxes of cards. And some of them never opened. We're going through them. And I'm like, these aren't old. But to him, they're like, oh, my God, that one's from 1987. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Have you seen those videos where they say their age and then someone says 19 and they go, 19? 19? Your birth year starts with a 19? Oh, No, no. You're born in the 1900s? Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
Mm.
The Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump is next. It seems like forever ago that CC Sabathia pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers. We got to see him the other day. Did not see coming the debate on whether he should be on the Wall of Honor or the Walk of Fame for the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll discuss next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Team sources tell me that the Milwaukee Bucks are officially open for business. So on all trades and calls, offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, entering the draft combine this week and over the next 6 weeks before the NBA draft. This has been a 12-month-long saga between Giannis and the Bucks, but co-owner in Milwaukee, Jimmy Haslam, last week said that this will either end in a long-term commitment from Giannis or a trade elsewhere before the June 23rd NBA draft. And this all surrounds one very important element. Giannis has made it clear for a period of months now that he believes the time has come for both sides to move on, to part ways. The Bucks have resisted over the last calendar year a trade, believing that they can still win and compete with Giannis, but that's depleted their asset base, their talent on their team. And now they are in a reality where they will be listening. They are fully open for business.
It's going to be this way for a hot second. Sham Charania, ESPN, the latest and greatest?
No.
To be honest?
No.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome to Hour 2 Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for this morning's Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump. We do it at this time every single day. It's the moment where we create a safe place for all of you. Unless you're talking about Sean.
In my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee has kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food. We've got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
WisconsinMeatMarket.com. The meat of the month is the T-bone. A little bit of filet, a little more New York strip. Ready for your grill and ready for your family meal. The power of the family meal is alive and well with our friends at Malott Meats, who literally ships meat, Josh, nationwide.
Yep.
They're based here in Green Bay, where I am, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. But they don't depend on Green Bay. They ship meat literally all over the country. Why? Because their belief, number one, their meticulousness, is that a word? To the quality meats at a fair price that they can deliver right to your door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. So it's that safe place where we allow you to get all the things off your chest and out of your head. Dump them on us. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. CC Sabathia getting added to the Milwaukee Brewers Wall of Honor was a hot debate topic in Wisconsin sports over the weekend. It really shouldn't be because CC doesn't qualify for the Brewers Walk of Fame. But let's just hypothetically say they remove the bullet point that would make him not qualified and allow the discussion to be had on whether the Brewers Walk of Fame should have been where CC landed or the Brewers Wall of Honor. And by the way, there's a few people that are on both. So you can be on both. It's just that, well, one has a lot more prestige with it than the other. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and tech line. The question here is, Did CC Sabathia, in the short time he was here in Milwaukee, do enough to be on something like the Brewers Walk of Fame versus just the Wall of Honor?
So let's start by saying what that bullet point is that makes this point a hypothetical, right? Is that to be an honorary Walk of Fame member, you have to have played for either the Brewers or the Braves for 3 years.
Correct.
Right?
3 seasons.
Right.
The rest of them, he essentially qualifies for. He retired for at least 3 seasons now.
Yep.
He's got to receive 65% of responding electors' votes to be inducted. He's got to receive at least 5% to remain on future ballots. And he has to be a non-uniformed personnel. They can also be elected through an internal Brewers executive process after voter nomination. There's only 23 members of the Milwaukee Brewers Walk of Fame, 21 players. And it's the players that you would expect to be on here. Hank Aaron, Ryan Braun, Cecil Cooper, Prince Fielder, Raleigh Fingers, Jim Gantner, Teddy Higuera from my childhood, Jeff Jenkins, Eddie Matthews, Paul Molitor, Don Money. The list goes on. Ben Sheets, Warren Spahn, Gorman Thomas, and Robin Yount, along with, obviously, Bob Uecker.
I think it's an interesting conversation because what CC did in such a short time was everything for this organization. Like, if Brewers fans sit here and say, I think the Brewers make it to the postseason without CC Sabathia, that is factual, that is fictional, that is not true information. They needed him. They don't make it without him, right? So the breaking of the 26-year drought without a playoff appearance does not happen without CC Sabathia. However, he was only here for half a season, right? Like that. Facts are facts. That was it. And so, to me, I feel like the wall is perfect for honoring him because it was the moment. It was what he did in the moment, not looking at what he did in his career. He wasn't here long enough for it to be what he did in his career. Even if he would have been here for the full season, maybe that would have been different. But it was half a season. It was just enough to be the most important moment, not necessarily a career to where you embodied legendary status with the team.
So was them getting to the playoffs with CC Sabathia enough for something like the Walk of Fame versus the Wall of Honor? That's kind of the question here. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talking text line. The way I've posed this with some buddies in conversation is, let's say CC Sabathia showed up this season. He joined the club when he joined that club in 2008. And he does this year what he did then. And they got back to the playoffs and they fell short of a World Series victory. Maybe they make it back to the World Series, but they didn't win the World Series. Is it as big of a deal today, having seen the success of the Brewers, 2011, 2018, last year? Is it as big of a deal to have a guy like CC join the club for a mere 3-ish months and then go put on a Yankee uniform?
Yeah, that's a great point. And the answer is no. No, right. Because it doesn't have the impact of 26 years of not being there. That was the difference. We talk all the time about expectations, how the disappointment's waiting to happen. It's also where the goalpost is, what that expectation is. The expectation then was, oh my God, do you think that the Brewers could actually make it back to the postseason? This could actually happen. Now it's, we need to win a World Series. That's the difference. In 2008, no one was talking about that. No one was talking about winning a World Series. They were talking about getting back to the postseason, and they did. That was essentially, at the time, the equivalent of winning the World Series. That's where the expectation was, and it was exceeded beyond that point. So I cannot say that he deserves more than the Wall of Honor.
In comparison to the people that are a part of the Walk of Fame, what CC did for the Brewers and what some of these other people did for the Brewers is apples to oranges. There's really no compare. Listen, CC Sabathia gave us the best 3 to 4 months of Brewers baseball in my lifetime.
Yeah, and
yours
of his
as well.
career. Like, by the way, like that stint was the best. Like, he didn't replicate that in that short of time, even in New York.
Even in comparison, though, to some of the other players that are Walk of Fame worthy that we listed off, what they did for the organization as a whole, including playoffs, including World Series appearances, including being the greatest broadcaster of all time, does not compare to what CC did in his short stint that helped the Brewers get back to the playoffs. The other piece to this, though, is an interesting take in that if CC Sabathia joined last year's team, let's use last year as an example, and we don't poo the bed with the bats like we did in the playoffs, specifically against the Dodgers, do we win the World Series?
I mean, sure. You could absolutely make that argument. I think the argument is more about that, though, with if in 2008 they would have not just made it, but won it, then does it change? Zach in Green Bay on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250 says exactly that. If the Brewers would have won the World Series in 2008, there would not be a debate. He absolutely would be Walk of Fame worthy.
Yeah, if he qualified for sure, right? Yeah, that's the truth. I think those rings change everything.
Right. I mean, if they actually won, screw the Walk of Fame. Like, they'd build a new something to honor the fact that the team did it.
You know, we talk a lot about maybe never seeing a no-hitter again from one particular pitcher unless they have the type of game where they only throw 80-some pitches in a complete game format. In today's MLB, with the amount of money and the investments in players and thinking about the future, would CC even be allowed to do what he did this time of the season, if you will, this year, in this age of baseball, like he did in 2008? I personally don't think so.
Well, because what? Like, his agent would have stopped? Because he's talked in interviews and said how his agent was pissed. He was like, what are you doing? It's a contract year. Don't do this. You're not going out on 2-3 days rest. If you're the organization, knowing that he's leaving anyway, then yeah, you absolutely push him to go out there if he's willing. You know, from the team standpoint, it makes no sense to not. From his, just like it did then, though, yeah, it's potentially career suicide.
Right. CC gave the fans a taste of what it was like to win. The successful seasons, though, didn't really start coming until a little bit later after him. But I would say he started the fuel for the fire. That's Danny in the 414.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that moment really did catapult everything for this Brewers organization.
So we talked about apples to oranges comparison. Let's just take what CC did for the Milwaukee Brewers in 2008, not discounting it whatsoever, and let's compare it to some of these other names. There's only 23. And just hypothetically, does he even hold a candle to the other names that are part of the Brewers Walk of Fame? Hank Aaron? Nope. Ryan Braun? No. Cecil Cooper? Harry Dalton? Prince Fielder? I mean, the list goes on and on. These names that are on this list weren't just here for a song, a cup of coffee. They were Milwaukee Brewers. CC Sabathia, per Mark Antanasio, changed the organization and deserves all of the credit for that. 2008 was one of the coolest times of my sports life. I remember it vividly. We've talked about it on the show. I know exactly where I was, how I was watching the game, what it felt like to put the Brewers back in the playoffs, watching on the big screen to make sure that it was solidified. All of that is a memory that we will literally never forget as Milwaukee Brewers fans that got to experience that for the first time since 1982. That's the big piece of this, is that CC helped the Milwaukee Brewers, led the Milwaukee Brewers to be the team that made it back to the playoffs for the first time in what seemed like literally forever. And added then to the Wall of Honor for those reasons. The Walk of Fame, though, is a completely different ballgame. He does not qualify because, according to the eligibility rules, you must have worn a Brewers or Braves uniform as a player, coach, or manager for at least 3 seasons. Well, CC barely made it 3 months.
Right.
So he doesn't qualify for the Walk of Fame.
I was looking at the records too, because everyone, like, we talked to Tim Allen yesterday and about CC, and we talked about him on Friday too. And I agreed about like the launching off point being that 2008, but it's not like 2009, 2010. They were, both of those seasons, they were back under 500 for the year. Like, it's not like CC got him there, and then when he left, that momentum kept going. 2009, 2010, they went 80 and 82 and 77 and 85. Didn't make it to the postseason. And then, obviously, we know in 2011, they went crazy. But also, there were more things that happened in 2011. Remember, that was when they got Greinke. Like, I think that offseason before 2011 is when they signed Greinke. I don't think he was here before then. And so there were other factors that went into that 2011 team beyond. So what really was the impact of CC beyond just making it to the postseason for 2008? Did it create a lasting success, truly?
No, but it did put a taste in our mouth. And that's what changed everything.
We demanded more as fans.
Well,
That's
the
what you're
modern
saying?
day Brewers had the capability to do something right that got us there. That was not 92. Other than 92, I don't remember as a Brewers fan feeling like we were in anything close to a position that would have put us into the playoffs. 2008 changed that. And now we as fans went, okay. Now, on the flip side of that, I don't remember getting so bad that we went, all right, here comes our next 40-year stint of never getting back to the playoffs. Like, we did it. We all knew what it felt like. And maybe more specifically, Mark Antanasio knew what it felt like and knew that that was a place that he had put the Brewers organization once, and that along with the help of the front office, we were able to get back there and quickly turn things around. If CC would have gotten that no-hitter against Pittsburgh, do you think he would have gotten on the Walk of Fame? No, because it was just another accolade per se. Jacob Intosa puts this into perspective. He says putting CC Sabathia on the Walk of Fame would honestly be insulting to the people that are already on it and the rest of that 2008 team. CC changed the culture and thinking of Brewers fans for sure. But imagine his plaque, CC Sabathia, 2008 to 2008.
That's a great point. How goofy does that look on that plaque? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right, is that people that were upset with the fact that it was Wall of Honor and not more than that don't understand that it was just a moment. It wasn't a defining career. It wasn't enough time to get more than that. He was here for a very short stint. He did an absolutely amazing thing in that time, but that was it. That's it, period.
The 414 says, guys, let's be honest here. He was here for 3 months. He doesn't deserve a place in the Walk of Fame or the Wall of Honor. It reeks of desperation. Okay, that pisses me off. That is exactly the opposite of how I feel about the Brewers Wall of Honor. He absolutely deserves a place on the Brewers Wall of Honor. There's 74 players and or members of the Brewers Wall of Honor. Many names are in this list that are also in the other list, but there's also a lot of names that aren't in the other list.
Yeah, I mean, to say that he doesn't deserve the Wall of Honor is insane.
Crazy.
Like, that's crazy. If that's the case, you haven't looked and seen who else is already on the Wall of Honor. Because when you go through that, yeah, the bar to make the Wall of Honor is much lower than the Walk of Fame, beyond just years in a uniform.
And yet still filled with names that we would easily be able to go, yep, God, that guy created some memories. Here's a few. Jeremy Burnitz, Jeff Cirillo, Rob Deere, Cal Eldridge, Giovanni Gallardo, Carlos Gomez, Billy Hall, Trevor Hoffman was only here for a stint.
Richie Sexton was here for 3 years, from 2000 to 2003. Not a whole lot happened then, by the way. And then Richie Sexton went to the White Sox and then won a World Series, by the way.
BJ Surhoff. There's a name blast from the Jose Valentin, Greg Vaughn, Fernando Vina, Ricky Weeks. I mean, the list goes on. That is a whole different ball game to be a part of the Brewers Wall of Honor. And realistically, that 2008 team that did what they did, Mark Antanasio gets choked up talking about it, forever changed the Milwaukee Brewers. Wall of Honor? Absolutely. Walk of Fame? Not so much.
Yeah, I get it, but no.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. It is a Take Back Tuesday on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. What do you got to take back from the last week that you're like, didn't get that right?
I've got multiple.
I probably shouldn't have said that. Maybe shouldn't have even thought that. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Trevor and Josh on a Take Back Tuesday. What came out of your mouth, or maybe something that you just thought and didn't say out loud, which good for you. I don't have that ability. Congratulations that you can just think about things and not talk.
Yep. Must be nice.
And then you go, I should probably take that back. Josh, you have multiple, you said?
I do.
Plural?
And I'd like to start with one that happened 8 minutes ago. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
I'd like to take back talking about Richie Sexson as if he was Scott Pasednik, because I definitely said Richie Sexson, who is on the Brewers Wall of Honor, and then saying that he went to the White Sox. No, he didn't. That was Pasednik, who had a World Series win with the White Sox, not Richie Sexson. So that's my first one. The second thing that I have to take back is completely being oblivious to the fact that the Brewers did not play yesterday.
Yeah. To the point where the promo
that played said, we're going to recap game one. And much like Shams, I wasn't wrong. We will recap eventually. We will recap game one of Brewers Padres. And I can just keep.
But you did say tomorrow.
I can just keep saying it, right? That's how it works. You can just keep saying what's going to happen. And then eventually, when it's true, then everything's fine.
For some reason, both Josh and I had it in our heads. I don't know why. I have a theory as to why, which I'll explain in a second. But we both had it in our heads that the Brewers played last night.
Yep.
Not because I saw it in writing. Not because here's my theory. When you Google Brewers, the schedule pops up. That's what I use constantly to see when the Brewers are playing, where they're at, what's next, and so on. When you do that, it doesn't have a space for an off day. It just literally shows you Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It does have the days. I'll give us that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just goes right to who's next. San Diego, in Milwaukee. 3-game stint. Got it. They were off Monday.
Did not play.
My little magnet schedule on the refrigerator that I have in my studio literally shows an off day for yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't look. Neither of us looked at that.
No.
And so last night, I get a text from Josh. Can I read it verbatim, Josh?
Go ahead.
It says, so what time of the day did you realize that the Brewers had off today? Because for me, it was around 5 p.m. To which I said, yep, 5:30 for me, actually. We were at Riker's softball game. It had just ended. And I was like, all right, let's go get some pizza and watch the Brewers game. What time do they start? And then I looked at my phone and went, 6:40. Tomorrow. No game. Good Lord. It happens.
I'd like to take that promo back.
Yeah, I was going to say, cutting a promo. We even had it in the show plan for today.
Yeah.
We'll recap the Brewers.
We're going to recap the Brewers today.
Guess what? It's still happening in the next segment. We will absolutely recap the Brewers from last night. You wait. We have information.
It can be very short.
That you don't even know exists.
Oh,
it's just hilarious. And I love that. I could hear your voice via the text. All right. So what time
did you realize that? Because for me, it was 5 o'clock.
I think I know what the fireable offenses are in this business.
Yeah.
Is that one? Is that like
God? I hope not.
Do you not get a pass of not knowing when the Brewers play to do our job?
Well, okay. Here's how I'm going to justify the mistake. I think
I want to take it back, but I'm going to justify it too.
Well, I'm admitting that I'd like to take it back, but I'm still going to defend it now that you said could it be a fireable offense?
Okay.
That we were so excited and we were on such a high after sweeping the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it all went down on Mother's Day, knowing that it was we had these two really good teams that we were playing back to back in a homestand, and we swept the first one, we were roaring to go and ready to keep that going. And so it was just, yeah, we swept one. Now let's see if we can keep that going. Not even thinking about if there's an off day. If they lose 2 or 3 to the Yankees, I bet we're well aware that they don't play Monday.
100% chance we know exactly when the next game's going to be. And also in our defense, on a Monday, there's a lot of stuff to cover from the weekend. Very little do we talk about what's coming next.
Right.
And also in our defense, I don't think, and I don't know because I didn't go back and watch the entire show yesterday, but I don't think either of us ever said that the Brewers played the Padres last night. The promo a little bit different. Neither of us said it during the show.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, that was...
You going to spend 3 hours and go find it?
I'm
Me
not.
neither. Nope.
Taking that back. But I will tell you, they play tonight. So, confirmed.
6:40 Central.
There you go.
You know, can I have a take back for someone else?
Please.
What if it's the boss?
Ooh, I'd love for you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Talk about
I'm only saying this to make sure that we all know we're not the only ones that have misinformation in promos from time to time.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday, Wisconsin Sports Daily.
Uh-huh.
Tim Dillard was on.
Uh-huh.
And they play their little intro song for Tim Dillard, or their little
yeah.
FanDuel Sports, Tim Dillard.
Mm-hmm. Old promo. Or old intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Listen.
But at one point, if we're gonna just shams everything, at one point
the Brewers did play on a Monday in the month of May. At 6:40.
Correct. That has happened before.
And it's probably going to happen again.
At one point, did work for FanDuel Sports.
He did. So it wasn't not true. Just wasn't like today true. Why? Josh, what do I say on this show?
What?
What do I say on this show that leads people to believe that I am a raging closet alcoholic?
Oh,
do I say things? Do I?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that you say.
I should take all of those back.
That have me go. What? What did you just say?
Well, okay, stupidity is different than leading like that. I'm fully aware of.
See, guys, he's not hungover. He's just stupid.
Yeah, hungover. First off, here's a great example of why. Whatever I'm saying to lead you to believe that I drink too much, I take it back. Can I tell you, last night, we go to my favorite Downey bar ever, Max Pub and Grill. Okay, not ever. Captain's Corners in Jefferson will never be beat. I digress. They ask, what do you want to drink? I order a Diet Sprite, to which my friends who are along for the ride with their kids look at me and go, one beer? To which I go, no, thanks. Not worth it. Because why? Number one, don't need it. Number two, I don't want to have to pee. And I don't know what it is about a beer that makes me have to pee more, but it does.
I mean,
now crushing 4 Diet Sprites didn't exactly fix that problem either. But
sure. Hey, how about this one from Z-Man Wisco on YouTube?
Yeah.
With, by the way, you can be watching us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube now at WI Sports Radio.
At your own peril.
Z-Man Wisco says, what about anyone want to take back the hate for the Wisco City Connect jerseys? Everyone wanted to burn them because they were going winless. Now we swept the AL's best team in them. What are we thinking? Well, I do have my theories. First and foremost, remember that CeCe still threw out the first pitch, not in a Wisco jersey. He still chose not to wear it for the first pitch. He wore Gary Sanchez's during the ceremony. So like we saw him in it, but for the first pitch, he was not in a Wisco jersey. Mm-hmm. And also, could the changing of the tide have been the shoes? Because the shoes were also released. So maybe that has something to do with it.
If you waited in line for those shoes and didn't get a pair, I'd guess you'd take that back.
Yeah, probably.
The 920. I'd rather people think that I drink too much than know that I drink Diet Sprite.
Anything else you want to take back, Trev?
Apparently that. Oh my God.
Oh man, I would love for that to become a thing. Just everywhere you go, people got a nice cold Diet Sprite for you.
The only thing that makes Diet Sprite better is whiskey. Anyway, it's probably not helping my cause.
Look at the 906 saying the Wisco jerseys look a bit better now.
Don't they?
Okay, this is a serious thing. Are people really going to take back their feelings on the jerseys just because they won one game in them?
Of course they are, because the only reason we didn't like the jerseys is because they didn't win.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like the color.
Oh, I don't mind the color. I like the story.
The story's great. Big fan of the story. I don't get to see the story every time they wear them on the field. I see the colors of the jersey on the field.
The hat that you're wearing today with the grill on the front and that, I was never a fan of that one.
Oh, you didn't like the grill?
I don't see it.
Do you like the bobber?
I love the bobber.
The bobber's the grill.
But I like the story.
So you don't like the story of tailgating and the tradition and history?
I just don't like the logo is just a little bit lost on me. It's not that again,
Trevor, these are the type of things you say that make people go, man, he must be hungover. Who doesn't like the grill logo?
Who doesn't like the Wisco logo?
The 906 just texted in and said, that was a great text from that texter. Put him on the Wall of Fame.
Definitely not the Walk of Honor.
No. Oh, that's great. You guys are on one today.
I love it. That Diet Sprite take is a fantastic take, and I won't forget it. JB and the 920. We should someday. It's hard on a morning show because that's why you sound like an alcoholic if you talk about drinking between the hours of 6 and 9.
Yeah, well, that's
someday
true.
We should talk about drinking in Wisconsin. Just think about it for a hot second as to here's why I say that.
Or?
Well, Doug Gottlieb has been open about what it is that is drinking in Wisconsin versus anywhere else. And even he's like, damn, you guys just do it different here.
The night you go. First, he admits he drinks Diet Sprite. Secondly, he admits he doesn't like the grill. The grill is the greatest logo in all of baseball. Wrong take after wrong take.
Well, that's not true. The greatest logo in baseball is the M and the B.
Yeah, the ball and glove for sure.
Nice try. Nice try.
Hey, the 920 also says, a different 920 says, how about taking back McManus having competition in camp? Now he's just competing for the spot on the couch. Yeah, that's a good question.
He'll land somewhere.
But would the Packers like to take back paying him that $1 million?
I think so. I think that at some point this year, they're going to look under somewhere and go, is there $1 million under? It really is $1 million right now.
They lost it the same way you did your baseball cards. It's gone. Whew.
You're all right?
Yeah, that was great.
Maker, that was a good laugh.
Diet Sprite.
Whenever both of you and I are about to pass out, I wonder what happens next.
Good radio.
Neither of us are talking. We're both trying not to accidentally fart on the radio because we're laughing so hard.
Yep, that's what happens next. We both pass out, and then the audience gets to hear good radio.
Hit a promo or something. Woo. All right, hey, when we come back, we're going to recap the Brewers from yesterday and any and all news that came out of AmFam Field, because there definitely wasn't a game last night.
Are you sure?
Well,
I heard in the promo that there was game one.
That's my favorite part of this. I asked Josh this morning, you switched the promo, right? When you realized the promo was wrong at 5 o'clock, you changed it out?
No.
Nah, let it ride.
Yeah, come on.
How are we supposed to take something back if we already...
Yeah, well, if I took it back at 5 a.m., I couldn't have taken it back during Take Back Tuesday.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Let us know what news you saw from the Brewers yesterday. We'll use it in the next segment. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Diet Sprite, please.
The Queen of Spice is heating up breakfast at Wendy's with new items like their jalapeno sausage, egg and cheese biscuit, jalapeno bacon, egg and cheese biscuit, and a spicy side twist of jalapeno bacon seasoned potatoes. Available for a limited time, so get a bite while you can and spice up your morning at Wendy's.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on a Take Back Tuesday. Pivoting to Brewers news from Monday night. Where's that Crickets theme? You got that, Andy?
Yeah. What are you talking about? ton of news.
I mean, no news is good news, I think, on Brandon Lockridge and the MRI that he was supposed to have yesterday. So we all know that he had a blind date with a wall. Didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
Stitches come out 7 to 10 days after he got them. He got 8 to 10 stitches. The thought process was they were going to allow the swelling to go down after x-rays were negative on his right knee / tibia / woof. Jeez. The MRI was supposed to happen yesterday. We haven't heard anything from said potential MRI. That one makes me nervous. I still think he's going to be out for a solid amount of time. I mean, 8 to 10 stitches in a laceration down to the bone.
Yeah.
That usually comes along with a bone bruise of some kind. That is not well, I'm sure.
Right.
But if we've learned anything from MRIs and the Milwaukee Brewers, their magnets are better because they find things that sometimes don't need to be found. I don't know. I fully expect there to be a fracture that shows up on MRI and he's on the sideline for a month.
Well, don't you assume that we hear something today prior to the game?
If they did an MRI and if they were able to get the swelling down, because if there's, listen, I am no doctor, but I play one on the radio from time to time. If there's a bunch of swelling, then it's all going to show up as inflammation and they're not going to be able to read the MRI. So maybe the swelling wasn't down. We'd like to think that we'll find something out today. Typically, when there's a game, which there was not last night, when there's a game, which there is tonight, they'll talk before the game about this type of stuff.
Right.
I looked to see if they talked before the game. Turns out they didn't. No commentary from not a game last night. No game.
Oh, okay. Did BJ Raji play last night?
Is Richie Sexton currently playing for the Yankees? Don't know.
Don't think so.
There's a chance that we could get Yelly back this homestand.
Yeah.
I read that on the old Google.
Especially with a day off on Monday. I mean,
dude, rest up, bud.
Yeah, even extra time. No, I think that's huge though. If when I'm going to say when they get Yelly back. Look at just beyond the numbers, the feel of the team, how much that changed when you added Churio and Vaughn back in. I think when you add Yelly too, I really think maybe we were going through it a little bit just with the vibes of this team without having those three guys in it. And we've got two of the three back. What's that?
The Packers didn't help that. All the injuries that we dealt with in our other sport and Giannis's injuries from this season, like PTSD in the injury category for Wisconsin sports fans is real. Josh, you and I talk a lot about Phineas and Ferb and Disney and all. Dude, we haven't gotten the band back together at all this season.
Yeah.
The band has never been together.
You're right. Yeah. We have not been at full force at any point this season. Now, here's a question. Do you consider this team playing at full force when Yelly is back?
Are we missing someone else?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Koenig in the bullpen, right? And then Zerpa down, and Woody is now out. So is getting Yelich back still then saying we're back to full force, or is it gonna go down as this season we never, not even for game one, not one game out of 162 did we play at our full potential, best available?
I think the Woody thing, I mean, Koenig, I understand these things happen. Relief pitcher, miss him, but I think we have it fairly figured out, knock on wood. Zerpa, I never really had expectations of, to be honest. Woody was a tough pill to swallow, but also if you just really back out of it and go, I don't know, is the Brandon Woodruff of old the guy that we have now? Maybe, maybe not.
I mean, he was pitching well, though.
Agreed. Just a random cyst in his. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That they had to drain a cyst.
Yeah. You feel terrible for the guy. But I'm saying even if we get Yelich back on this homestand, I would say we're at 95%. But get Woody back, and then I'm going, all right. Because as you've said, Woody's big too in the clubhouse.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
League and team sources tell me that the Milwaukee Bucks are officially open for business on all trades and calls, offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, entering the draft combine this week and over the next 6 weeks before the NBA draft. This has been a 12-month-long saga between Giannis and the Bucks, but co-owner in Milwaukee, Jimmy Haslam, last week said that this will either end in a long-term commitment from Giannis or a trade elsewhere before the June 23rd NBA draft. And this all surrounds one very important element. Giannis has made it clear for a period of months now that he believes the time has come for both sides to move on, to part ways. The Bucks have resisted over the last calendar year a trade, believing that they can still win and compete with Giannis, but that's depleted their asset base, their talent on their team. And now they are in a reality where they will be listening. They are fully open for business.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Audio courtesy of Sham Sharania. Babylon on ESPN. Which show? Don't know.
I think it was Sports Center. I don't know. He's on all of them.
All of them. Always. About all the things, and yet none of the things, all at the same time.
That's right.
If you've tuned in this entire show, number one, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Number two, we're sorry. And number three, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if you've listened to this program for the last 2 hours and somehow drank a Diet Sprite without it coming out your nose, I'd be shocked. Who drinks Diet Sprite?
Oh, man. Such great interaction with the listeners today.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. That's where all of you hide behind your thumbs and don't call us very often.
You want people to call to tell that it's crazy that you don't you drink Diet Sprite?
I like Diet Sprite. Are you not a diet soda guy?
I'm Diet Dr. Pepper once in a while. That's really it. Unless there's, it's a mixed drink.
Oh.
Hey, I've never had a problem admitting that I like to party.
But careful.
Why?
Because if you do that and take a random ass Monday off, like I am.
It's not a random Monday. It all started when you took off because you threw a Super Bowl party. And then people assume that it happened all the time because you come out here with Diet Sprite takes and you come out here and you say that Remember the Titans isn't a sports movie and all this other stuff. And people go, oh my gosh, okay, this guy must not be paying attention.
Or hammered all the time. One of the two.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would make sense.
Otherwise, I got no clue.
Otherwise, we have questions. Here's the question to start our 8 a.m. hour. Ty Windish, by the way, joining us at about 8:20 to talk about the latest from the Giannis situation.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a guy that follows it from a Wisconsin Bucks fan perspective that I'm just really curious to get his take, to be honest.
Thank you, Chris Collinsworth. Now, here's a guy who
No. No, that's John Madden. Here's a guy who.
I associate that with Collinsworth. Collinsworth always says that.
He started it. Pick a holiday. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Christmas, New Year's, Memorial and Father's Day, Mother's Day, Labor Day, you name it. What's the holiday that you enjoy watching Wisconsin sports on the most? Is it the Badgers on a New Year's Day game? That was a joke. Is it the Bucks on Christmas? Is it a Packers game on Thanksgiving?
What about a Packers game on Christmas? Christmas Eve? We've had a few of those. Christmas Day. And then all the summer holidays. There are Brewers, Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July. You keep going.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What is your favorite holiday sports choice, if you could? Now, obviously, Mother's Day is the hot topic from the weekend with Bryce Terang and the walk-off. Adam McKelvey put out an awesome article via MLB in the idea that Billy Hall's phone blew up. Billy Hall, 20 years to the day. All the things that go into holiday games. Memorable moments, too. Josh, what is it for you?
So, for me, it's just Brewers. There's something about baseball where I'm like, yeah, I could go on Father's Day to a baseball game. 4th of July in baseball, you bet. Like, I'm all about that. That would be just fine. There's something about the football, like the Packers on Thanksgiving or Christmas, that I don't want. Like, and I don't know. And this is why it's an interesting conversation. I want to know, because there's two different sides to this conversation. There's them on, and you watching from home, and you going to the event, right? Like, I'm watching football on Thanksgiving, regardless of if the Packers are playing or not. It's just what has always happened in my family. Regardless, we eat, we watch football, we stop, we eat, we go back, we watch more football. That's Thanksgiving. But I would never go to a game on Thanksgiving. Like, I would never say, like, hey, this year for Thanksgiving, we're going to go to Lambeau and watch the Packers there.
But what if it's your whole family?
Well, and so that's the thing, right? Like, there might be people that love that. There might be people that are like, anytime that there's a game on Christmas Eve, our whole family goes on Christmas Eve. I want to know, like, is that a tradition? Is that something that people do? I know you brought up, right, that that Riker took Amanda to the game.
No, Rhodey. Riker doesn't do sports.
Right. Rhodey took Amanda to the game for Mother's Day. Is that a thing? Are there people out there that every year to celebrate mom, if the Brewers are playing at home, you're taking mom to the game? I'm just curious if that's a thing. I guess I've never been someone that always associates a certain holiday with going to a sporting event, but I might be in the minority.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What's your favorite? Mine, I think, this is hard, right? Because 4th of July is one that's really top of mind. If I had to pick one, it's in the near future. But if we're on a, hypothetically speaking, if we've put the boat that we're on for the 4th of July on a sandbar on a lake in the North Woods, and we're drinking beers, hypothetically, on the 4th of July on a sandbar in a lake in the North Woods, do I turn on the Brewer game and listen to that, or am I all 90s and 2000s hits and hip-hop? See what I'm saying? Like, I would love to watch the Brewers on the 4th of July at night around a campfire, but I'm not going to wreck the day mood of what is a celebration about America. 250 years this year. Let's go.
Okay, but that's my point. Like, baseball is America. Like, it's literally America's pastime. So going to a baseball game to celebrate the 4th of July, to me, is not crazy. That
makes sense.
Right. It makes sense. However, I don't do it. I don't do it. I go to a parade. I grill out. I watch the game on a TV. I listen to the game on the radio, but I'm not there. And that's my point. Like, on holidays, do you go? Everyone that was at that game and saw a hell of a game on Mother's Day, was that a one-off, or is that a tradition? Is that something that happens all the time?
Ron in Dallas says nothing beats the Brewers on the 4th of July. Outside, beautiful weather. Cooking out with the game on the radio, it's a beautiful thing. Packers on Thanksgiving is awesome, but I'll take the better weather day any day.
So there you go. See, so that's the thing. I feel like it's always blown my mind how with specific days of the year for holidays, people, you watch these games and the stadiums are always packed. Father's Day, Mother's Day, 4th of July in Milwaukee. Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day at Lambeau. And I'm going, man, all those people were like, yeah, let's go for our holiday, for our break. Let's leave the family behind. Sorry, we're going to the game. Maybe that was the thing. Easter's one we hadn't even thought about. A lot of great Easter moments for the Milwaukee Brewers.
See, now there's a day that I would never be found at any sporting event. It'll be on in the house, wherever we're getting together with family. But for me, I can't think of a time when going to a game, no matter the situation, would trump being together with family.
Right.
Even if my entire family picked up and went to a game on a holiday, it's just, that's never been our tradition. To your point, though, I do think it is some people's tradition.
So have you ever, in any way, shape, or form, spent a holiday at a Wisconsin sporting event?
Not that I can recall. Probably because I drank too much. I honestly don't think so.
I've definitely, on 4th of July, I've definitely spent a 4th of July or two at American Family Field.
Okay, so the 920 says, had my family over for Easter. They wanted to watch the Brewers game. Nope, not in this house. Why?
Right. So that's a completely different thing of just not even having the game on. Right? That's like you have, but you can't even watch it. We're talking about going to the game. You're saying you can't even watch the game.
That a bit much.
There's no way that would fly in my family's, like not even I'm not talking my immediate family. I'm talking like if we go over to Julie's family's house, all the men are on the couch. They get their plates, they sit on the couch, and they're watching the game.
Yeah, that one's a bit puzzling. I think of March Madness too, Josh, with Easter, right? So maybe it's a Wisconsin game per se. I have a vivid memory of that kid from Louisville breaking his leg on Easter Sunday during March Madness. Depending on how Easter falls, sometimes it's towards the end of March, and that's just what's on television. So maybe from a conversational standpoint, yes, it's about going to a game, but I would say that more often than not, outside of just the regular celebration and family getting together, how many of our holidays in our homes actually revolve around whatever it is that's on TV for sports?
Yeah, is that not like the standard? I'm surprised by the person in the 920, what was it, 920?
Yeah,
that talked about not having the game on for Easter. I absolutely, every holiday there's sports on the TV. If there's a sport happening, it's on.
Amanda just informed me that indeed we've been at Lambeau Field on Thanksgiving.
Okay. Clearly it was a memorable game. Do you remember going with the whole family? Nope.
Couldn't tell you what year. She'll remind me.
She's not helping the whole you were drunk thing.
Not at all. Travis in Kenosha just said, hey, Trevor, if I run into you at Luke Combs on Friday night, you want me to buy you a beer or a Diet Sprite? Well, Travis, Friday and Saturday is when I allow myself to indulge in an alcoholic beverage or two responsibly. Beer, please.
Yeah.
Plural.
Yeah. We have a guest who's literally for the second day in a row, he's just weaseled his way into the show.
Hi, Mitch.
Hi, guys.
Mitch Nellis.
Is it my fault that I just love your guys' show so much and I just want to be a part of it and I love your topics? That's not my fault. That's your fault.
Yeah, we just got to lock the door and take the link. So take the
There
link
is
away.
that.
I love this topic. I love this topic so much. So one of my big traditions is Memorial Day. The Brewers usually play a day game, and we do like a breakfast tailgate at what was Miller Park and now AmFam Field. So we do all the breakfast meats. We do like a French toast casserole, like egg things. Some people bring like eggs in pans and cook the eggs to order. Some people like pre-make the eggs. But I think when I think of holidays, and I love holidays in sports, like I love traditions, but I love watching them at home. Like the Packers game, man, if the Packers game, if they're on Thanksgiving, well, I'm usually with the family in Tennessee, but we will gather around the TV specifically for that. But Memorial Day is the big one, like the breakfast tailgate. I remember last year we were telling Rick Schlesinger about it from the Brewers, and he was like, "Oh man, that sounds awesome. We got to stop by." So whoever wants to do a breakfast tailgate on Memorial Day will be there.
I love that. That's a great tradition. I also love the fact that you said besides Memorial Day, you're at home, which I feel like is the case
Pretty much
for most people.
I did. I was at the Packers Bears Christmas game, but I don't really do Christmas. So to me, I call that a day that ends with Y. But I also enjoy the tradition of like people who do come to those games and for a one-off. But to do it every year, like I feel like it's got to be more like a Memorial Day, a 4th of July. I did used to take my mom to Mother's Day. I probably did it 4 or 5 years in a row when they were home. And then I got married and had kids, and then we stopped doing that. But in my 20s, I definitely did that with my mom.
I love it. All right, thanks, Mitch. Now,
you guys are the best. You guys are the best.
I appreciate you, pal.
Good to see you, Mitch. Amanda reminded me what it was. It was Thanksgiving when Favre was featured at halftime, Ring of Honor.
And you were like, I don't care about family. We're not missing that.
Exactly right. That's exactly what happened, Josh. I was not going to miss that. It was raining to beat the band. I thank you, God, was in a box that night with some friends. Didn't get a single drop on me. But it was actually really cool, though, because Bart Starr showed up there. Him and Favre had a moment. Favre it was awesome.
Was that the game they lost to the Bears?
Shockingly, don't remember. I think so.
I think it was.
I think so, too, actually, now that you say that. I do think they lost. I feel like that was a dud of a game from a weather perspective, from a play perspective, and they lost.
Yep.
Hey, Ty Windish, an actual guest, is actually in the queue waiting for us to take a break and come back and talk Bucks. So we're going to do that. We'll get the latest from him in the Eurostep podcast on the whole Giannis situation and just see what his thoughts are on the whole Shams process, because it is a process. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. And joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. From the Eurostep podcast, Mr. Ty Windish. Ty, what's up? Thanks for coming back on the show, bud. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. All right. Perspective here.
Is it a happy Tuesday, Ty?
This is going to get interesting. Let's just take a step back here and try to process the information in finger quotes, depending on who you ask, that's coming out of the reports, specifically from Shams Charania. Help us delineate here between reality and fiction.
I think it's reality that the Bucks are taking offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think it's entirely settled that they're going to trade him, but I would say, I don't think you take offers on someone pretty publicly here, and from multiple sources, including Jim Ozarski, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, is that, they're actively listening. You don't do that if you're definitely not going to trade someone. I would say that. And I do think the way Bucks ownership has been deliberately drawing some lines in the sand here, whether it's either he extends and we trade him, we can't risk him walking, him being Giannis, or more recently at the Taylor Jenkins press conference, we need to know by the draft, which of course Giannis cannot technically extend by then, although, you can have a pretty good inclination if you're the Bucks on, are you for sure going to, are you maybe going to, or are you not going to, right? So I think this thing is coming to a head, and I think it feels more likely than ever to me, but I've learned, in the last year to not say anything with certainty when it comes to this Giannis trade saga, because it's been flipped on its head so many times now.
All right. So my big question for you, Ty, is in regards to the lottery. I was very confused trying to figure out what was supposed to happen, what we wanted to happen, and then what happened. The 10th pick does not seem to me like a big enough needle mover to where I'm excited one way or another. I don't know necessarily in my brain that if they would have had a higher pick, it sways it one way or another what they do with Giannis. But talk to me about the lottery, what happened, and what that means going forward for this team.
Yeah, my thought going in was, and obviously, I won't belabor the whole thing. They were going to have the worst of two picks. So they needed two teams to jump into the top four for the Bucks to get a top four pick. And obviously it was 3% chance of anywhere in the top four, even smaller, of the Bucks getting like the second or third pick, which means Atlanta would have needed one or two. So I think if they had walked away from the draft with AJ DeBansta or Darren Peterson, who I think are the top two, we'll see how the board falls. I think that would have been the situation where maybe you can kind of get Giannis to get fired up again, because those guys to me are superstar potential and a good chance of reaching it, and really good positional fits with Giannis and the rest of the team. Slide them in, boom, done. I actually think if they had ended up with Cameron Boozer or Caleb Wilson, who are more like 3 and 4, it probably would have made things a lot cloudier to keep him, because just a lot of positional overlap there. Boozer can shoot a bit. Wilson, to me, is the one which would have been really tough. Maybe Boozer, you can figure it out. But really, to me, both fours. And obviously, Giannis is a 4, a power forward as well. So in that situation, maybe the Bucks are like, really appreciate everything that happened. Understand you want to win. We now have this blue chip at your position, and we can get a haul for trading you. Like, let's get you somewhere you feel like you can win. So neither of those things happened. To your point, 10, I don't think Giannis is going to look at whoever's there at 10 and be like, can't wait to play with this guy. This guy, I was out before last year, but now I'm all in because we had the 10th best player in this draft, hopefully. So I think it's more just, now the avenue to keeping him would be, are we trading either that pick or the 2 future picks we can trade, 31 and 33, to bring in more immediate help? Because I do think it's not coincidental. As soon as the roster was depleted outside of Giannis, of another truly star level player, being Damian Lillard, of course, the wave and stretch, and the injury before that. That's the point when Giannis was like, okay, I'm out. I think they need to find a player like that again, be a trade.
So looking at because you just broke down some of those players that are going to go in the top 5, 10 players. If you were in the role of the Bucks front office and had to make this decision based on knowing you're going to have the 10th pick, what do you do? Assume that all the trade options are on the table. someone is saying, we'll give you an extra pick, we'll take away your pick, what would you do?
I really want to stick and pick. I think they just need to use this pick. I think you hired a coach in Taylor Jenkins. Specifically, they talked about his player development and culture building. And clearly, there's just not been enough young, cost-controlled talent in the building. And they have some good young players, but the cost-controlled part is key too. Ryan Rollins is awesome. He's going to hit unrestricted free agency after next season. Hopefully, you can keep him, but like you draft a player in the first round, you get them for 4 years, and then they're a restricted free agent. You can sign them for like 4 or 5 more. Like it's just so different how you can keep those players, and their maxes are smaller. And the Bucs just haven't had enough of those. How many roster spots and not just rotation spots have we had to plug in? Like, okay, here's another guy in a veteran minimum. Here's a guy we picked up who got waived midseason. Now that's our most important bench player. That's our starting 2 guard. You look at the best teams in the league. They have these players who they've been able to build with over years and years, even outside of the top. Like, you're not going to be OKC anytime soon. Minnesota, right? Like they stick and pick and just keep these guys and build and develop them. So I would love to stick and pick and then, see, it's unknowable exactly where they're at with Giannis. I would explore future trade opportunities from there, kind of see, okay, we can get this guy. What does this do for you? Taylor Jenkins thinks this would work. This would be our roster. And I think that's the point where if Giannis is like, maybe you probably have to go through with a trade, because I really think you cannot have this last season play out again, which is he's kind of half in, half out. The season doesn't go great. I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And now you're forced to, he doesn't sign. We have to trade him at the deadline. The value is lower than ever. And we're just in another mess of a season. I think you have to know going into most of this offseason, what is the plan, which is why I think draft day is a good timeline, even if people think it's aggressive to put that out there. I think they really should know by then, because I don't think you can go all in with more trades if you're not sure if the big guy's in, because then you're just going to look foolish like you do with the Turner move.
Ty Windish, the Eurostep podcast, joining us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. So let's pick up where you just left off there. Haslam said that we're going to know, not hope we know, but that we're going to know by the trade deadline. And you mentioned it earlier, Giannis can't sign the Supermax before the draft.
Yeah.
Did they play their hand there? Did they tip their hand that this is 100% going to be a trade? Because if he can't decide whether they're going to offer it to him, and because that was, by the way, something that I heard for the first time, it sounded like Haslam wasn't sure if they were even going to offer him the Supermax, but hypothetically, he can't sign it anyway. And the draft is between now and June when you can't sign it. So if the Bucs are going to know by the draft, did they accidentally tip their hand that they're 100% going to trade Giannis?
I'd never say 100% with this, again, with this situation. I think it's leading that way. And I've thought this for a while. I think last season, like the lack of trust was something that came up a lot. Giannis said it himself and just talked about we don't have good enough communication, all these other things. I don't know what they want. They don't know what I want, whatever. And I think the only way to keep him, you really need to have that trust there. So they would need to get that going again immediately, basically, because you have to trust basically what the inclination Giannis gives you before the draft is, right? You have to trust if he says, yes, I will extend if we pull off these trades, that he's going to do it. And I don't think Giannis is a liar, but I do think that the relationship's not in the best place. And I've said for, I think probably months now, the CBA reality of this makes it much harder to keep him, because it's not soon after the draft. He can't accept the extension. They technically can't offer it, which may be why Haslam said that. You just get fined, but whatever, until October. So right before the season, basically, because it's the anniversary of the last one that he signed. So that just makes it really hard for me you have to do your whole offseason. You're done with moves by October. The Dame trade they did was really late in the year. That was in September, right before camp. October is the season's starting. That's when you can officially do it. So it does make it tough. I think it would take a lot of faith on both sides for them to keep going forward, which is unfortunate. You'd obviously love to see Giannis retire a Buck and remain here forever. But I think this is clearly the biggest test, and it would take, some really impactful moves from John Horst and really Giannis coming to the table and being like, you know what, guys, I'm in actually, let's go forward together.
So just looking at the relationship and the history, because you brought that up and how the relationship isn't as good as it once was between Giannis and the Bucks. I felt like for a while, and at least a couple years, Ty, that the relationship had really come to a point of no one wanted to be the bad guy. No one wanted it on their record of I'm the one that ended the relationship between Giannis and the Bucks. The front office didn't want the whole fan base coming at him with pitchforks and torches saying, how dare you trade our superstar? And Giannis didn't want to be the one that went back on his promise and said, when he said that I'm going to be with Milwaukee forever. And I thought that's why this is going to continue, because neither side's going to be the bad guy. Enter Jimmy Haslam.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jimmy Haslam the guy that got into this organization and said, I'm new here, I don't mind being the bad guy? Because until recently, I still believed that no one wanted to be that bad guy and that the Bucks would never not offer him the Supermax. Now I'm thinking that might be a possibility.
I think they'll always offer it to him. And I think the fact that I would say, yeah, I think this is a Haslam thing. It was Edens who was on the record with Ramona Shelburne, what I think like trade deadline week. Edens was the one who had said either he signs the extension or we trade him, which is, people were like, oh, that's obvious. That's how you have to do it, which is true. But that's the hardest line the Bucks have ever taken publicly with Giannis at that point. And now I think Haslam's gone even farther.
But that still put it back on Giannis. That still put it back on them of saying, we're not the bad guys.
That's true.
We're going to offer Giannis the Supermax. If he doesn't want to be a Buck anymore, we can't help that. Right? It was still Eden saying, we're not going to be the bad guy. And Giannis saying, I love Milwaukee. And we're going, okay, so no one's going to be the bad guy until Haslam said, we're going to explore offers. We're going to have an answer by the draft.
By the draft. Yeah.
That felt different than the last 8 years.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think some of it too is, I think there's been a little frustration in that building of how this past year went. And I think everyone's frustrated when you lose, but all of the loyalty stuff from Giannis, which has played in Milwaukee for a really long time, and that's really important. But it was their first down season in 10 years. They haven't had a lottery season in 10 years, and it was pretty much immediately. And again, according to some reports, even before the year started, this isn't it. Let's talk to the Knicks. I just don't think this is real. It's man, people have down years. I mean, you look at dynasties outside of pretty much San Antonio, the Warriors picked in the lottery a couple of times between their most recent 2 championships. It's just a little unrealistic, I think, to just expect you can go balls to the wall and be all in a contending team every single year. It usually doesn't happen. So, and it got worse than that too, calling for the Bucks to be investigated for him not playing down the stretch stuff. I think that to me is one that is probably gone a little underreported on nationally for once, a Giannis thing, but that's a pretty major thing to do, right? You could lose, forget fines. No one cares, of course, billionaire fines, but if a draft pick got taken away, I don't think any of that stuff is going to happen. It seems like the whole thing was a nothing burger, but that was a pretty drastic step for me. And I think in addition to the Haslam factor, which is certainly there, he's certainly become more kind of the face of Bucks ownership, it feels, in the last year. I do think the relationship has just taken a turn for the worse that would have happened no matter who was at that head chair, just because of the way this has played out. It's been ugly. It's been a tough one for everyone involved.
Bucks fans, Giannis fans, sick of Shams Charania.
Yeah.
Yet he's getting his information from somewhere, and it's not changed. It's been the same thing over and over. Who in your mind, Ty, do you think is talking to Shams?
I think Giannis's camp, which it's funny because I think the Thanasis Antetokounmpo has been we're his camp and we're not talking. Probably his agency, right? This is what agents do, is they kind of spread this stuff. And I'll say people are annoyed by it. Obviously, it's been played up, to the umpth degree by ESPN because this is what they do to get clicks and, survive. It's what we all do, but they do it the worst, I'll say. None of it's been refuted though. Right? No one's come out.
It is what we all do.
Yeah, it is what we all do. They're just better at it. None of this has been refuted where someone came out and been no, the next thing never happened or this never happened. It's been I won't talk about it. I don't talk about this stuff. And I see some Bucks fans be why don't you do this with Joker in Denver? They just lost. They have no assets, blah, blah, blah. Because at the press conference after they lost and whatever to the Wolves, he sat there and said, I'm not going to leave Denver. And that's that. And no one is putting out that he's going to leave Denver. So you can't run with he's going to leave Denver, right? When there's smoke, there's fire. And maybe there's been, a disproportionate amount of smoke. But I think there are these things brewing behind the scenes with Giannis. I don't think it's made up. I think it's, sensationalized for sure. But I think this stuff is real enough, and I don't think you'll find credible reports out there that are like, none of this has ever happened. Giannis has never flirted with leaving. Giannis before the season was like, it's always true, guys. I always have wandering eye, and then I'll lock back in when the season starts. Like, it's easy to overlook that stuff and just be like, ESPN just wants him out. And I think they do want him out, but they can't just make him. They can't do that without any input from Giannis in the actual situation. Because it'd be easy for him to come out then and be like, none of this is true, guys. Like, I want to be here. What are you doing? He says he wants to be in Milwaukee, but he wants to win, which has always been the thing. And obviously they didn't win last year. Their perspective isn't great or isn't as strong as some of these other teams. So it is what it is. So I get the frustration, but I don't think it's like, this is 100% ESPN driven.
We're talking to Ty Windish of the Eurostep podcast on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network as hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. All right, Ty. So if, we played out all of the different things that have happened in the saga so far. If something was to happen and the Bucks were to make this trade and lose the face of their franchise, knowing that they have the 10th pick right now, not necessarily a pick that's going to replace the face of the franchise, what is a solid offer that you would go, I mean, at the very least, that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's really two or three kind of lanes here. One is, we're going to get a younger kind of centerpiece player back who's worse, but younger and cost controlled. So the two most prominent have been Evan Mobley and Jaylen Brown now with the Celtics. And I think the Bucks would need to get something on top of those guys. I don't think you could do a 1-for-1 just because,
agreed.
You weren't good enough with Giannis, right? You're not going to be good enough with Jaylen Brown in his spot, still without your draft picks. You need something more in either scenario. But I think that's not bad just because it's not like you're going to tank. Your draft picks are broken up. Washington has pieces, Atlanta, New Orleans, Portland, they're all over the place over the next 4 or 5 years. So you're not going to see the Bucks go like Oklahoma City, let's do a full teardown and suck for 3 years and get 3 first overall picks. You wouldn't have those picks. Maybe you can get some of your picks back. You're not going to have all of them. So you do kind of need to be respectable. And I think that's why Jenkins was very purposefully brought in, and they told him, don't plan on Giannis being here, i.e. like, we need you to do what you did in Memphis. Make us a real respectable team so we can kind of build from there versus just being totally lost in the wind. The other path is more like worse headline players, but more draft picks. And I think like Golden State's the most extreme, where it's like Jimmy Butler, who's not going to play for half the year and maybe never for the Bucks, but all of their picks, 4 picks, 3 swaps, whatever. Miami is a little more in the middle, like promising guys like Kelly Ware, Kasparis Yakachonis, Tyler Hero is the salary headliner, who's like probably has the worst rep of any guy who was an all-star within the last like 13 months ever. Like literally was an all-star last season from Wisconsin. I know people wouldn't be that excited, but and picks, right? So you're getting like a couple of guys, maybe these guys develop and we get more picks to use. I lean more toward the Miami style offers. I think you just need some multiple picks coming in. I'm just not excited about, okay, we saw what this team was with Giannis, not really good enough. They're not going to be good enough with Mobley in place. And now there's no other assets beside our first this year to add that talent. That's where I think you get a little stuck. But I think they're going to canvas. And I do think they're going to end up with an offer where, no one wants to see him go. I personally think it's going to be like, that's the kind of offer you get for a superstar player. And I think we'll end up saying like, they have enough stuff, like they'll have a shot now to have a next era. It's obviously never guaranteed when you move someone like Giannis, but I think the fear mongering of like, oh, they're just going to get Jaylen Brown straight up and nothing else. I'd be pretty surprised if that was the case.
Ty Windish, hear him on the Eurostep podcast and here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Guys, remember when you had a cell phone and you could just hold down a number and it was a speed dial option? Like hold down 3 for Ty Windish. Bud, when this goes down, we're holding down number 3 and we're giving you a buzz to help us process whatever it is that the news is that we learn. We appreciate you jumping on this morning, man.
Yeah, thank you. I think I'm gonna have to put a day off whenever it happens because I think I'm gonna be pretty busy, but I'll be on. I'll be on. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Attaboy.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. When we come back, we check in with John Kuhn from 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Those studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Hey, did you know that any youth sports player can score a free small classic Frosty anytime they visit Wendy's in their sports uniform? That's right. Just stop by after practice or with your team after a game. Who doesn't love a Frosty?
9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff is up next here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Joining us now from 9 to noon with John Kuhn, who's on from 9 to noon on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Hey, John, the schedule gets released on Thursday, but some of the games are starting to be quote-unquote leaked, which is not a leak when it comes from the NFL itself. My question to you, and I'm sure you guys plan to talk about this and or already have, do you see an opportunity for the Packers to play overseas this year?
Yeah, there's a couple games that haven't been announced. So by just, de facto, they could potentially go over there and play in Paris against the Saints. I mean, they do have a game against the Saints this year. I'd be very surprised if the NFL did that because the Packer fans going down to New Orleans is a big, big draw.
Good point.
So potentially not there. Potentially, one of the other games, I can't, is it Germany? There's another team that's on their schedule. I haven't looked at all of the 9 international games to see which opponents have not been picked yet that still are on the Packers roster, but I believe there were 2. Okay, so the Lions were another game. Now you'd say, well, divisional game. No way they're going to do divisional game. Look what they're doing week 1. Look what they're doing week 1 with the Rams and the 49ers, having them play in Australia. That is wild. So I would say, hey, don't count anything out until the schedule actually comes out.
Which would, if there was one, John, if you had to go, because obviously you'll be there covering the team.
Yeah, you're going.
If there was one of those 9 where they said, hey, John, we want you to have a fun trip as well, where should the Packers go this year? Where would you tell them?
Well, Australia's already taken. I would have loved to have done that. I've been to London a few times. We called a game in Brazil. So I wouldn't mind doing that Paris game. I've been to Paris a few times, but I wouldn't mind going back and doing a game there. I think that, where are they playing that game? Are they playing at PSG? I got to imagine they're playing at PSG. I mean, that would be pretty spectacular. First football game at PSG, American football game. That would be fun.
The only place where they wouldn't need to order more beer is Munich. Actually, we're prepared for you guys. Come on over. This would be great.
Yeah, potentially. Packer fans, though, are they gonna drink that German beer, or are they gonna try and pull international beers over there in Europe?
Gonna hit you a little different.
Yeah,
what's coming up 9 to noon?
Well, we're gonna go through some of that CC Sabathia sound, and Mark Antanasio talking about CC change the culture. Should the Brewers take a step like they did with CC in 2008 this year in 2026?
Ooh.
9 to noon. John Kuhn, Rami Makloff coming up next here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Statewide, Wausau, Duluth Superior, Green Bay and the Fox Valley, and Milwaukee. Josh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was an interesting show, to say the least. That was a blast. I'm parched. I need a Diet Sprite for sure. I'm gonna get one right now.
It's very quenching.
That's what I hear.
Thirst quenching.
Yeah.
JB in the 920. Does John drink Diet Sprite? Literally just now.
Yeah.
Why is that such a rant? Like, of all the things that my you-know-whats have been busted for on this show, Diet Sprite is up there now?
But it's fun. I have fun with it.
So too did the Nicolay Law Talking text line today. It was a blast, you guys. We so appreciate you listening and watching with us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and following along wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure to search there, Inside Wisconsin Sports.
Hey, I wonder if we're going to recap the Brewers game tomorrow.
I think we might.
Oh, okay.
You know what I would do? I'd put it in the promo.
Yeah, should I? Good thing I already got a promo ready to go.
Honestly, you don't even need to. Did you say anything else in the promo?
I did say it was the Take Back Tuesday.
Okay. Well, Would You Rather Wednesday, and we'll recap the Brewers game from the night before. Our thanks to Ty Windish. As always, we are Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Trevor's troll chiming in. See you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.